Morning all, happy new year and all that jazz. Hope you all had a cracking time. Um, right guys, I'm just going to get right to it. I have been a busy boy from about 1:30 this morning. I couldn't sleep, so I went, bugger it, let's just get up, and I have fired through every single one of my classes. I've created checklists, I've double checked everybody's work, what's due, what have you still to remediate. So, the purpose of this video this morning is, one, to show you what I want you to do this morning. Secondly, to show you where you can find out the stuff that you've passed or the stuff that you still have to remediate. And thirdly, just for a week, obviously, a catch up. Now, I am going to be speaking to a couple of you this morning. I need to talk to you. Nothing bad, just a wee catch up with a couple of you. A couple of you on a few questions regarding some of your feedback, so I'm more than happy to go over any feedback queries that you have. Right guys, so first things first, class time, obviously class starts 9 o'clock this morning. I noticed that not everyone even began their working for yourself assessment, okay? So let's just get a wee look at this now. So if you're unsure where to find it, I'm going to go through it again with you. So remember, it's in the useless invention. Obviously my tiles are going to look a lot different than they are to yours, but essentially click into your useless invention, and if you scroll down, the working for yourself is right at the very bottom. So there you go, okay? We've got working for yourself part 1, which is outcome 1, outcome 2, and working for yourself part 2, outcome 3. Now, below this, you will see a checklist, okay? I'm not wanting to click into it because that will be that basically because I can see everybody's marks. I don't want that to appear in the video, but essentially guys, if you click into this, you will see you'll see like outcome 1 attempted, or was it outcome 1 submitted, outcome 1 marked, outcome 1 passed, and then the same for outcome 2, etc. Okay, so you'll basically see it. Now, where it says that you have not passed but you've submitted your work, that means that you've got remediation to go and do for it, okay? If you see absolutely nothing in this checklist, it basically means that you've not even attempted it, okay? So, can I ask you all to go into this checklist, and for those that have completed part 1 or part 2 or outcome 1, 2 and 3, just have a wee look, and if it says that you've not passed it, go back in to these links here and you'll be able to see your feedback, okay? How your feedback works is basically if you've scored a 0, it basically means it's remediation. It doesn't mean you never got nothing right, it's just how the marking works on this, okay? If anybody is unsure and they want to talk to me about any of the feedback, please feel free just to message me this morning. As I say, I'm going to be here for you this morning anyway. So that's the first thing. This is priority for my class, okay? If I do not see anybody starting any of these by, say, 9:15, sorry guys, I'm going to need you mark these down as absent because therefore you're not participating in the work, okay? As I say, it's hard enough try to do this, and I really appreciate that this is difficult to do at home. However, I've still got a job to do, and obviously I still need to get the work in. If any of you are struggling, obviously feel free, we can have a wee chat and I can help you through it as much as I possibly can. So that's working for yourself, so that is priority for this morning. If you've done it, great, look at your feedback. If you can, it'll basically allow you to do a second attempt. If it doesn't, let me know immediately and I will fix it. So for those that are going to do the remediation, if it doesn't allow you to do a second attempt, let me know, I'll fix it, resubmit it, and I'll mark it right there on the spot for you, and that way it's passed. Right. Secondly, remember you guys did the individual pitches before we broke up for, what do we call it? Before we broke up for Christmas. Um, what I've done is I've got a wee submission section here. Okay, now part of, as well as working for yourself, you guys are also covering the unit, the creative process. Creative process has got three outcomes. Outcome one was the individual pitch that you did. Okay, so that was the one. Remember, we're in our wee group calls. So, again, if you click into that, you will see the feedback that you have. However, although I've recorded you guys doing your pitches on Teams, I still need you to submit your PowerPoint for me on here, okay? Basically, SQA, the way they like to have it is they just like me to retain that evidence. So that way I've got the video is the actual evidence of you presenting, but then the PowerPoint that you upload to here is like the your PowerPoint presentation evidence, if you like. Okay, so guys, if you can just take a wee 5 minutes at some point during this class, once you've done the work for yourself, just to upload your individual pitch submission. Obviously, I've marches already, and I've already updated the creative process checklist, which I'm sure I have based on the checklist I was filling out that day. But again, just so I can get the evidence there, and it keeps everything right. Okay. So these checklists, you know what I'm going to do? Let me. I'm going to see if I can show you last year's checklists. No, it's not going to let me. So, as I says, guys, I'm not wanting to go into it and show you other people's work, okay? But essentially, how it looks, in fact, do you know what I'm going to do? Spare me a wee minute, just so you know exactly what it is you're going to be looking at. What I can do, I can go into another class from last year. This is my sound class from last year. All participants. Oh, better delete them. Right. There you go. Okay. So, basically, this is how your checklist will look. Okay. So obviously, I've got access to lots of the different students there. Okay. So as you can see, the minute you upload something, so I'm going to go to edit checks here. So let's say that you never handed in nothing, it will look like that. Okay. If you have handed in one thing, I can click yes, save it, then you get this wee green box. Perfect. If you've handed in this one, but you've not handed in this one yet, or you have, sorry, if you have handed it in and I've marked it, but it's not a pass, I'll mark it as a no. Okay, so basically, if you see a kind of a red box, go back, check your work. If you're unsure why I've clicked that no, let me know and we'll get it fixed. Okay, what you guys should be able to see, you guys will see individual bars like this. You won't be able to see anybody else's. So as you can see, this student here, they have got 100%. They finished that full project. Where these bars are empty, it could be the students just need to do a bit of remediation, etc. Okay, so that's what your bar will look like. So obviously, what you guys are looking for is 100%. So I hope that makes sense. Just a really good way to keep on top of your work. I usually work with checklists, as I say, is because it's been really difficult. I've not been on the ball as much as I should have in terms of Moodle and Teams, and because it's still a learning process. But that's me, as I say, everything's all completely set up for you. So, So a wee recap. 1, get crack on with your working for yourself assessments. Okay. Number 2, submit outcome 1 for me, which is the presentation you presented. Just upload that for me. Then this afternoon in Fiona's class, I want you working in your groups to work towards your outcome 2 presentation, which I'm going to speak to Fiona, and because I can see us just blithering them out, hopefully. What day are we on? I would probably like it in the next few weeks anyway, okay? So don't worry, there is still time there. But yeah, if we can try and get through that. Secondly, the very first class that you've had with me, Composition 101, I notice there's a few of you still due me some remediation, remember, for your poster and analysis. So again, I've done the exact same thing. If you go into Media Composition 101, Media Activity, where am I? There you go, Creative Analysis, LO1. If you click into that, this will show you if you have passed or if you've not passed. And again, the submission box there will tell you your feedback. Alright guys, so I hope that makes sense. So, going forward, whenever I get you to present something, it will be on Teams. I will record it. I will retain that evidence on Teams. However, I will still get you to submit PowerPoints, Word documents, what have you, to Moodle, and I'll also keep your checklist on Moodle. Okay, that way it's keeping your feedback separate from Teams. So Teams purely for communication for classes, Moodle for uploading your work and for your feedback and checklist. So hope that makes sense, guys. So one more time, this morning, working for yourself, priority. I need that done today, okay? Parts 1 and part 2. No excuses, as I says, it's simple questions, and remember how I've laid it out on Moodle. You can, all the answers are there, okay? All the answers are there. It's just a case of, if it's talking about marketing demographics, go to the marketing demographics section. If it's talking about working for your the customer service, go to that section there and just look, have a wee read through it, watch that video. If it's talking about competitors, watch that video, have a wee read through it. All the answers are there, okay? Obviously, what I don't want to see is this. Copy paste, okay? Just remember, refer it back to your group's project that you guys have selected. Alrighty. And one of the key things here, whenever I ask you to identify and describe in the same question, make sure you do that, okay? Identifying is just simply, so let's say it says identify a long-term finance solution or something like that for your business. Okay, so a long-term finance could be a bank loan. So you would say a long-term, one option for a long-term business finance would be a bank loan. So that's you've identified it. Now describe it. How does it fit into your business? The reason this is a long-term loan is the bank can borrow me money and I can pay back in installments at an affordable rate, therefore keeping my cash flow nice and steady and not putting myself under stress. And that would be a perfect answer, okay? So remember, identify and describe. Right, guys. Hope that makes sense. As I say, I'm going to be here all morning. I'm going to be working away. So I'm going to post this just now. And as I say, I am going to speak to a couple of yous this morning. If anybody, so I'm going to message the people that I want to speak to. If you don't hear from me, but you do want to talk to me, then please just hit me with a message and I'll get back to you. Hope that all makes sense. Alright guys, I will speak to you very soon. Good luck with the assessment, and again, let me know if you're struggling with anything. Right, catch you later guys. Cheers.